And now it's time to meet the men from the ministry. We present Wilfrid, Hyde, White, and Richard Murdoch in The Men from the Ministry, a weekly tribute to that patient army of public servants through whose efforts government is administered. Selfless men dedicated to service in so many forms, all of which must be completed in triplicate. One of the many functions of the civil service is to back up Britain's defence chiefs as they strive to keep our forces ready for action.
Gentlemen, tomorrow's exercise Water Act has been carefully planned to test the Army's ability to cross a wide stretch of river and hit the enemy for 6. Now, I want to check that all preparations are on top line. Marine rescue equipment?
All right on, sir.
Good. Rubberized clothing and waterproof weapons?
Taken care of, sir.
Seasickness tablets?
Oh, you order, sir.
Right. Now, can anyone see any snags?
Well, sir.
Yes, speak up.
Sir, we haven't got any boats.
Good point. Exercise postponed for a week. Brigadier Cook, Signal War Office, get hold of 5,000 light rubber boats. All right, briefing over.
Signal here from the Army, Mr. Merriman. They want 5,000 light rubber boats for an exercise.
Yes, well, get it in hand, would you?
You mean buy the boats ourselves?
Oh, dear, no. Would you never learn, Capstick? Pass it on to someone. First rule of administration. Pass everything on quickly. Unless, of course, it's very urgent, in which case you pass it on very quickly.
Yes, sir. How about General Assistance Department? They're supposed to help any branch that's busy.
Yes. Well, you'll get them through Senior Liaison Officer Business. SLOB.
Oh, Sir Gregory Pitkin.
Yes, he'll tell General Assistant Department we're too hard-pressed to handle this. Now, let's get back to this 8-letter word beginning with L. Lethargy, do you think?
Hello, General Assistance Department, Richard Lamb speaking. You want what kind of help? No, I'm sorry, that equipment's fully employed already. Goodbye.
Who was that?
Ministry of Fuel and Power, wanting to borrow our oil stove. Honestly, well, it seems we're at everyone's beck and call.
Never mind, too. Remember, we don't have to help with any requests unless they come through Sir Gregory Pitkin. Remember that. So let's get back to the problem on hand.
Yes.
You know, I think we ought to try an entirely new layout. Why don't we put the waste paper bin over there and tip the ball into it with a wedge?
Look, man, I've got an awful lot of jobs waiting for me in my office. Besides, you've won 3 and 6 already.
Aha, then you need practice, my dear boy, you need practice. Yeah, double or quit this time, if you like, and you can use the large American ball.
No, really, I've got much too much to do. I mean, the plans for the office outing, the poster for the social club's bingo night, so if you'll excuse me, I think I'll just put up...
All right. Now, let's assume we're bunkered here behind the filing cabinet. Put the waste paper bin over there. That's it. Bit of wrist needed here, I think. Oh, pretty good, although I say it myself.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Hamilton Jones. The man from the Commonwealth Culture Council's here to see you.
Oh, dear, I can't see him today, I'm afraid. Tell him I'm tied up. There's a good girl.
Yes.
April, pop out, get the midday papers for me, would you please?
The racing editions. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Culture Council, bunch of loafers. Now, let's try that shot again. Oh, dear, I've hit the telephone. Oh, my goodness. Oh. I say, I'm terribly sorry. I sliced my shot, I'm afraid.
Hello? What are you talking about? Is that Hamilton Jones?
Oh, is that you, Sir Gregory? Good morning, Sir
Look,
Gregory.
I've got an important job for General Assistance Department.
Yes, I'm afraid we're up to our eyes here, Sir Gregory.
So the War Office. That's why they've passed this over to you.
Oh.
They want you to buy 5,000 rubber boats.
My word, that's a lot of boats, isn't it? They're having some kind of regatta?
Exercise.
Oh, exercise. Splendid. Yes, some of those war office chaps could do with a bit of exercise. They're flabby, aren't they? Very flabby. Solid boating will do them good, you know.
These boats are urgently required for an army amphibious exercise.
Oh.
Look, get your secretary to make a note of it right away.
Yes.
Or better still, let me speak to her.
My secretary, well, I'm awfully sorry. I'm afraid she's out at the moment. Sir Pitt, Sir Greg, Sir Grog, she's gone out to fetch some important papers.
Write it down yourself, man.
Yes. What?
You make sure you get it right.
Yes, I will.
5,000 light rubber boats.
Don't go too quickly.
5,000 light rubber boats.
Yes, yes.
For an army exercise.
Yes, well, I'll jot it down on my blotter.
And get it in hand immediately.
Don't worry, Sir Greg, Sir Pitt, I beg your pardon. Don't worry. I'll give it my full personal attention, and do give my kind regards to Lady Greg, Lady Pitt, Lady... Oh, dear, fellows, cut us off.
Your papers, Mr. Hamilton.
There you are, April. Just had my friend Sir Gregory on the phone.
Oh.
Wondering if we could help him out with a job. I promised to have my full personal attention, so I want Mr. Lamb to get on with it straight away.
What sort of job is it exactly?
Oh, I don't know, some nonsense from the War Office. I've written all the details on my blotter here.
I see.
I shan't be in for the rest of the day. If War Office ring, tell them I'm at the Board of Trade.
And if the Board of Trade rings?
Tell them I'm at the War Office. Usually works pretty well. Oh, you've got my papers. Splendid, splendid. Goodbye. Get that thing in hand, won't you?
Now, what's he written on his blotting pad? 3:30, Speedy Edie can't win.
April, where they stay?
Gone, Mr. Lamb, to a better place. But he made a note of something he wants you to do. I'm trying to find it on his blotter.
Oh, perhaps I can help. Let's see. Rejuveno, 7 and 6pence a box.
This must be it. Buy 5,000 something for army exercise. Can you make out these 3 words?
Yeah, 5,000 light, looks like rubber boots.
Yes, you're right about rubber. But is that boot, sir?
Sure to be. I must get this in hand right away. I'll tell my secretary to do it at once.
Hadn't we better wait and check with H.J.?
No, just leave it all to me. I'm a chap who makes a decision and acts immediately.
So I noticed the other night.
Oh, yes, well, I do apologize about that, April. Miss Adams, I'm afraid it was the effect of the film. You see, all those South Sea Islanders with their primitive orgies, and the passion and the colour, and that fantastic ritual with the love goddess. I felt this overwhelming desire to hold your hand. I do hope you'll forgive me. How about coming out for a spot of lunch today?
It's very good of you, Mr. Lamb, but
That's all settled then. I'll just slip into my office and get those boots ordered, and then we'll go. Back in a second. I've got an important job to do, Mildred, and I want you to do it at once.
I'm still doing your laundry list, Mr. Lamb.
Yes, well, you can leave that now. Anyway, you've got it wrong. The please starch goes against the collars, not the underwear. Now, this is important. I want you to order 5,000 light rubber boots for dispatch to the War Office. Oh, dear, yes. I suppose you don't know what to do you? All right, I'll give you a letter. While I'm out, get the name and address of our footwear supplier from the file and send it off. Now, take this in shorthand. Dear sirs, please supply... Oh, of course, you can't do shorthand, can you? Honestly, I don't know how you got in here.
Well, I could do it when I took my test. I mean, I never liked doing it, so I've forgotten.
Take it straight down on your typewriter. Ready? Dear sir, please supply us with 5,000 boots, light, rubber, soldiers for the use of War Office specifications. All right. Let me see. War Office usual type. No, rub it out afterwards. Standard sizes, charge General Assistance Department, yours, etc. Have you got that?
If we're all going out to lunch, we'd better go now, or we'll be late back.
Oh, yes, of course. Forge my signature on the letter, will you, Mildred? Come along, April. I say, I'm so glad you're going to have lunch with me.
Very kind of you to ask me, Mr. Lamb. I hope you're not going to be too extravagant.
Not at all. I've got quite enough sandwiches for 2. And I know a jolly good seat on the embankment where we can watch the coal barges go by. Come along.
My dear fellow, of course you can have my cheque. What are you talking about? Just thought you'd sooner wait till Godiva's won the 4:30 today, and then you'll be owing me. Save a lot of paperwork, you know. What? Well, I can't say I like your attitude. I've a good mind to place my bets elsewhere. Where? How dare you talk to me? Now, look here. No. Oh, no, I didn't mean it. No. Here, hold on. Hello. I haven't given you my bet on Godiva yet. Hello. Oh, dear. Poor old Godiva. Another outing with nothing on. Can't be good for her.
Sorry to butt in, sir, but the man from the Culture Council's still waiting to see you.
Bless myself, I've forgotten all about it. He must be pretty tired of waiting by now.
Doesn't seem so, sir.
Good, then he won't mind waiting a little longer, will he? Tell him I'm tied up or tied down or both, whatever it is, would you?
Very good, sir.
Thank you. I thought he had something better to do than hang round. GAD-1?
Got you at last.
Oh.
Your phone's been engaged for 20 minutes.
Oh, yes, Sir Greg. I beg your pardon. Yes, Sir Gregory, what can I do for you? I hope you're well, and your ladyship.
What about the boats?
What about the what again? Oh, boats. What?
The War Office.
Yes.
Asked for the 5,000 rubber boats.
Oh.
Last week. What
Yes.
about it?
What about it now? How interesting. Yes, all in hand. We're leaving no stone unturned.
Well, when are the War Office going to have them?
Very shortly, I think, Sir Gregory. You can rely on us.
When?
Oh, very shortly. What was that again?
The rubber boats, man.
Oh, yes.
Tell whoever doesn't work at your place, War Office want their 5,000 rubber boats. They want them now.
Oh, good heavens. Just a moment, Sir Gregory. Miss Adams asked Mr. Lamb come in, will you? Now, Sir Greg, are you there? I'll have it all buttoned up for you. And my kindest regards to Lady Greg Pitkin. Yes. Oh, dear, that fellow's comes off again. Rubber boats? I can't know anything about that. Funny thing to ask for. You must be having some kind of regatta, I suppose.
Thank you very much, April. Morning, one. If it's about the holiday rota, I've marked you off for the whole of August, as usual.
Thank you very much. No, it's about that order we're handling for War Office. Top priority job, I hope you haven't forgotten.
Oh, yes, they've just been delivered. I was going down to inspect them before sending them off to the War Office.
Good. What sort of size did you order?
Standard sizes.
I mean, how many men do you think they'll get in each?
Oh, I should say that... I beg your pardon?
Well, obviously they'll aim to get 2 or 3 soldiers in each, don't you think?
Well, I know the government are trying to make economies, but that seems ridiculous.
Ridiculous? May I ask why?
Well, if the army can't give each soldier his own pair of rubber boots, well, I mean, they won't have a leg to stand on.
Did you say rubber boots?
That's what we're talking about, isn't it? The 5,000 rubber boots you told me to get. They're already downstairs.
Are you all right, Mr. Hamilton Jones?
I think I'll just sit down for a minute.
Right, I'll go and check over the rubber boots. Then we can...
The order was for 5,000 light rubber boats. B-O-A-T-S, boats.
We can get them sent to the... what? Oh, thank goodness we're both established staff.
Established you may be. But remember, Sir Gregory can still have you transferred to records at Inverglocky.
Oh, not that. That's in the Outer Hebrides. He wouldn't do that just for one tiny mistake.
Perhaps I might just state the position. War Office urgently want 5,000 rubber boats, which we haven't got. What we have got is 5,000 rubber boots, which nobody wants, and we'll have to pay for. Now, if you've got that into your head, you've got it in a nutshell.
Well, I suppose Inverglocky wouldn't be so bad in the warm weather.
I'm told they don't have any.
Look, why don't you phone the boot people and see if they'll take them back?
Good idea, April. Can I borrow the intercom? Mildred, get the name and number of the firm we got those boots from, will you? And better bring a copy of your letter in as well.
I must say, too, I'm very disappointed in you. Have I got to do everything myself?
But look here, one, this would never have happened if you'd written it down properly, instead of scribbling on your blotter between your pool sperm and a recipe for homemade gin.
Now then, steady. Are you still hoping to get a patent carpet in your office?
Yes.
Well?
I'm sorry.
I should say so.
Here you are, Mr. Lamb. Footwear factory.
Oh, thank you. Get me Upper Clayswick 4422, will you, and ask for the manager. Oh, dear, and I thought today would be a happy day. I had a good omen.
What was that?
Well, while I was shaving, the toast caught fire as usual.
Is that good?
No, but today the coffee boiled over and put it out.
Oh.
Well, Fosdick Footwear, this is the General Assistance Department of the Ministry.
Morning, Fosdick here. Get the boots, all right?
Yes.
Oh, a lovely boot. Worth double the price. Strong, smart, durable.
Yes, well, we were wondering if you'd mind taking them back.
Never. Take them back. I've had the whole staff on overtime to make them for you.
But they're strong, smart, durable, and worth double...
Obviously, no market for them. Apart from anything else, what can I do with 5,000 boots, all the same foot?
Well, surely you could... What did you say?
I said there'd be no use to us. It seemed an odd order in your letter, but we thought you must have a use for them.
Odd? What's odd about our letter? Mildred, let me see that copy. Dear sirs, please supply us with 5,000 boots, right, rubber, soldiers for the use of, oh, I say this again.
Oh, that's funny. It sounded as if you said right boot.
Mildred, you didn't... Mr. Fosdick, you couldn't...
Aye, 5,000 right boots. It did seem odd. Like the army hopping into battle on one foot. But you know, ours not to reason why, you know.
But couldn't you see it was a typing error? Why didn't you query it?
Well, we don't query ministry orders. Not since that time he asked for 200 black boots with open toes. We queried that, didn't we? And you told us it was for a team of Morris dancers on a British Council tour of the Middle East. Now we just get on with it.
Yes, but
now
Mr.
look here, 5,000 right boots you ordered, and 5,000 right boots you've got. And I'd like my account settled quickly, please. I'll not detain you no longer.
Oh. Mildred.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lamb. I never could get the L and the R sorted out. I think I need a new machine.
Yeah, I think you need a... I'll tell you later. Oh, 5,000 right-footed boots. What are we going to do?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going out to lunch. I shan't be back this afternoon, Miss Adams.
But one, the boots, the War Office.
I'd say the first thing was to order the rubber boots for the War Office and get that side settled.
Look here, I'm sure we're entitled to a bigger hat stand, aren't we? Have a look into the regulations, will you please, Miss Adams?
But one, this is a crisis. You can't just walk out on it.
Well, if you want my advice, I'd say the first thing to do is to order the rubber boats for the War Office and get that side settled. Miss Adams, you can see to that.
Very good, sir.
But what about the boots? How do we pay for them? And what are we going to do with them?
Very good question, too. Very neatly put. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
The unflappable man.
Only till he realizes that he's going to get it in the neck the same as me. Then the boot will be on the other side of his face. When Sir Gregory finds out about this, he'll go through the department like the beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
No use panicking.
But just think when this gets out. Public money sent on 5,000 boots, one-footed, unwanted, no one for the use of. There'll be an official inquiry. Questions in the House. All that stuff about government waste.
What about it at the ministry? There was an article about it in one of the Sunday papers.
Oh, the Sunday papers.
It said, expose these guilty men.
Mildred, this is all your fault. Go back to the office and file the redundancy reports.
We haven't got any redundancy reports.
We have now, and yours is the first one. 5,000 boots. 5,000 boots. 5,000 pairs we might have sold, but 5,000 all the same foot is like trying to sell a skipping rope to a man with lumbago.
Wait a minute. I think you've got it.
What, lumbago?
That's the answer. You said 5,000 pairs we could sell.
Well, obviously people could use pairs.
But then all we have to do is to order 5,000 left boots and make up the pairs.
April, you're right. You're marvelous. 5,000 left boots to make up the pairs. Then we can advertise them in those Saturday paper postal bargains, you know, where they offer things like ex-naval officers' horsehair underwear, ex-WAFs outsized linoleum pajamas. Oh, there's only one snag.
What's that?
Will Fosdick help after all this? I mean, could he send 5,000 left boots by Monday before the storm breaks?
Oh, of course he will. More overtime for the staff.
Quick, what was that number again? Hello, get me Mr. Fosdick at Upper Claythwick 4422, please. 5,000 left boots for Monday. Oh, I hope he can do it.
Morning, Wilkins.
Afternoon, Mr. Hamilton Jones.
Yes, I do like to be beside the sea. Morning, Miss Murphy.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, I do like to... Morning, Miss Adams.
Good afternoon, sir.
I hope you had a pleasant weekend.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Lamb's waiting in your office.
Oh, yes, I know what he's worried about.
And the gentleman from the Culture Council's in the waiting room again.
Good. Best place for him. Morning, too.
Well, good afternoon, man. I hope you had a good weekend.
Yes, thanks, my dear boy. Thank you very much. Racing on Friday and Saturday, spotted golf yesterday. Had Lord and Lady Westbury round in the evening for cocktails and What's My Line.
Oh, what fun. How was the golf?
I did rather well, as a matter of fact. I went round the dining room in 42.
Don't you think it's time you tried a round on a proper golf course?
Oh, don't frighten me. All in good time, my dear fellow. Mustn't run before we can walk. I must have chip shot at the 9th yesterday. Put a bit of a dent in the hi-fi speaker.
Oh, I am sorry.
You know, I must get that shot right. Be a good fellow. Shove the paper bin over there, will you? And pass the balls from the filing cabinet. Yes, you know, the top secret drawer. That's it, yes. That's right. Thank you.
I hope you didn't let our little footwear crisis spoil your weekend.
What? What's that?
Ernie, I've got some good news for you.
Oh.
After you'd gone on Friday, I had an idea I think will solve it.
Oh, that's better. That's more like it. Crisis? Oh, you mean the boot business? I fixed it all on Friday afternoon. No need to get excited about these things, you know. Move the bin back a bit, would you?
You fixed the boot business?
Yes, of course. Question of getting rid of 5,000 right boots. Was that what you're talking about? I met this fellow in the bar at Sandown, some kind of dealer, I think he was. He agreed to take the lot. Sent his van to pick him up on Saturday.
He said You mean you sold the boots? They've gone?
Of course he won't pay our price, my boy. Breaking him up, I think, he said. Still, the main thing is we've got rid of him. Nothing as bad as being stuck with a lot of right boots, eh?
Oh, I wouldn't bank on that one.
Now, you said you had some good news for me.
I'm not sure you're going to want to hear it now.
I'll just try that shot again.
Sorry to interrupt, but I thought you might like to know the 5,000 left boots have arrived.
5,000 left. What? I don't understand.
I wonder what the digs are like at Inverglockey.
Mother, here, do you read this on the front page? Great boot scandal. £5 million worth of rubber boots, all have-footed, lie rotting in London. Ordered by a government department, they have been neither used nor paid for. When asked about this, a government spokesman, who would not give his name, said he had nothing to say. Shit. Isn't it marvellous, eh? £5 million down the drain, and you had to pay 10 bob on your new teeth.
I should like to ask the Minister if he is aware of reports that £10 million of public money has been spent on redundant left boots. Several examples of government waste are causing grave public concern, especially these left-footed boots. And I should like to know what steps the government proposes to take in them.
April? Is it true the government are going to resign over those boots? It's not quite as bad as that, Mildred. They're still giving out that a small number of boots have been stockpiled for reasons it would not be in the national interest to reveal. Oh. Well, what does that mean? It means they're in dead trouble. Sir Gregory has given H.J. 24 hours to find a good use for the boots. After that, it's the axe. The axe? Mm-hmm. You mean Mr. Lamb and H.J. beheaded in the Tower of London? They wouldn't do that just for... Oh, I hope they let us watch. Oh, no. It's just an expression. It means... Oh, I can't stop now. I've really got to do something about this chap from the Culture Council. I'll have to interrupt them, even if they are having a crisis meeting.
This is urgent, too. The trickiest problem we've had. We can't relax until we get the answer.
Yes, but Bum...
There's no doubt about it, my dear fellow. Don't argue. Look what it says in the newspaper. The competition closes tomorrow. If we can't find those 10 pictures of Adam Faith, how can I place them in order of merit?
But the boots, what are we going to do about the boots?
I can't understand it. I cut them out every day, one a day for 10 days, and tucked them under the telephone. One of that cleaners in love with him or something, taking them.
Honestly, Bum, this department is on the brink of disaster, and all you can think of is winning 50 top twist records of your choice.
No. You're quite wrong there. They're also offering £100 in cash. You can have the records. You can play them on your island in the Hebrides.
Oh. Don't remind me. Honestly, I can't see any way out. 5,000 left boots. The mind boggles. If there's one thing I hate, it's a boggled mind.
Now, come along, my dear fellow. No use getting excited. Keep calm. You'll find everything will knit together all right.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but the man from the Culture Council's still waiting to see
I
you.
can't possibly see him now. I'm sorry. Far too much on hand.
He's been here every day since a week last Monday.
Why didn't he have a proper appointment?
He did, sir. A week last Monday.
Oh.
I think we'd better see him, man. We can't afford to upset any more people.
All right, then. Show him in.
Yes, sir.
How do they expect us to get any work done with all these visitors? I don't know.
Well, we shan't be getting many visitors at Inverglocky. The boat only goes out from the mainland every other Tuesday.
Now, don't be morbid, too.
24 hours to get rid of 5,000 left boots. That's more than 3.5 boots a minute.
Mr. Challoner from the Culture Council.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, nice to see you. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Bit of a crisis, you know.
Not at all. The boot's on the other foot. Oh, no. I who should apologize for pestering you, but the Culture Council are organizing this tour of Java, and we heard that you were the people to fit us out.
Yes. Well, the thing is, Mr.
We
Tapp...
want you to supply us with tropical kit, mosquito-netting, medical supply, all that kind of thing.
Yes, of course. I'm awfully sorry, but you see...
Well, we're rather pleased, because this will be the first cultural mission to the Javanese headhunters. Aim is to show them the British way of life. You know, the sort of thing. Discussion groups, Midsummer Night's Dream, and, of course, adult sport. Cricket, football. They play a bit of football already, apparently. All barefoot, of course. But we're going to teach them to wear boots.
Yes. But the point is...
Just a minute, Mr. Did you say you were going to get the headhunters to wear boots?
For football, you see, more civilized than barefoot. Don't know how they'll take to it, of course.
No, it's bound to feel strange at first. Unless, of course, you could get them used to it gradually, you know, say, start them off with one boot each.
I say, what a marvelous idea. You mean every player has one boot and one bare foot?
Yes, that's it. What a good idea. Compromise, you see. Traditional British method of introducing reforms, my dear sir.
Oh, you're absolutely right. The only snag is, where on earth could one get a large number of boots all the same foot?
Well, I don't want to promise anything or make you too excited, but I think we might just be able to help you out there.
I say, you general assistance chaps are remarkable. You sure you don't mind?
Not at all. I'll have them delivered with all your other stuff.
Oh, splendid. Now, look, I mustn't keep you any longer. I've got to choose the plays we're putting on for the headhunters. I thought Midsummer Night's Dream, The School for Scandal.
And how about one for the pot?
I say you have been time. Well, cheerio.
Not at all, cheerio.
There you are, too. I said you'd find it would all knit together.
Yes, but I didn't think we'd find as big a knit as that.
Now, come along. You better set about getting the supplies for the Culture Council, and I must phone Sir Gregory and tell him I'd saved the day. Oh, good. Splendid. These wrist straps, they make all the difference, you know. Oh, April, just in time. Hand me my ball back. There's a good girl.
Don't you think you ought to give some attention to those cheese import licenses? They've been on your desk for 3 weeks.
Now, don't fuss, Miss Adams. Don't fuss. The cheese will be all the better for keeping. Hopefully they've got it in a cool place, I hope.
Well, the Board of Trade were on about it again this morning.
The essential thing, you know, in public service is to keep calm. Now, what about that trouble last month with those wretched boots, remember? Supposing I got het up then. Instead, I quietly thought out a solution.
Oh, that reminds me. It's time the payment came in from the Culture Council expedition. We need it to balance our accounts.
Now, don't worry. Of course it'll come in.
Excuse me, one, but the Culture Council payment for those boots has just arrived from Java.
Good. We must get it over to the Treasury straight away. You see, I told you. Sir Gregory will be pleased.
I wouldn't be too sure of that one.
Well, of course he will. They paid in full, haven't they? What are you looking so worried about?
I suppose they've paid in full, but I'm not quite certain of the rate of exchange.
Rate of exchange, my dear fellow? What on earth are you talking about?
Well, I mean, that is, how do you work out the value of 6 tons of coconuts and 50 shrunken heads?
What? What will Sir Gregory say?
In this program, the men from the ministry were Wilfrid Hyde and Richard Murdoch. Other essential personnel were Roy Dotrice, Diana Olsson, Edwin Apps, David Graham, and Norma Ronald. The Men from the Ministry is written and produced by Edward Taylor.
now it's time to meet the men from the Ministry. We present Wilfrid Hyde and Richard Murdoch in The Men from the Ministry, a weekly tribute to that faithful army of public servants who direct our lives and whose function is illustrated by their ancient crest, 2 crossed memos and a bowler hat carrying a can. In these times of uneasy peace, one of the problems a government must face is defense.
Now, what we have to ask ourselves is, does its present arrangement fulfill the complete demands of an early warning system? In fact, let me go further and ask what's the exact purpose of an early warning system?
Well, obviously, it's to tell us of any possible hostile approach in time to take defensive action.
Yes. Now, does this system we've worked out do that?
Yes, I'm sure it does. Any senior official approaching the office will be seen in that mirror we fixed outside your window. That is, if they come up the stairs.
Yes, and anyone coming down the corridor will step on that sugar we sprinkled on the lino. Good. Then we can get on with some golf practice, can't we? Pass my clubs from the map cupboard, would you?
Yes, okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Ah, April, come in.
Actually, it's Mr. Lamb I wanted to see. I've typed those letters ready for you to sign.
Oh, thank you, April, but I asked my secretary to do those.
Well, she passed them to me. She had to go out and get her hair done.
Oh, did she? Well, she didn't ask me. I'll have a little talk with Mildred when she gets back.
I don't think she's coming back today, Mr. Lamb. She said it'd be 4 o'clock by the time she was done, so she thought she'd go straight home.
Oh. I'm afraid Miss Mildred Murphy and I are going to have words. She's been giving herself airs ever since she got picked up by the audience camera in jukebox jury. I think she's about due for a large rocket.
Now, too, let's not have any unpleasantness. Pop the ball on the carpet and we can try chipping it into the bottom drawer.
Hello, General Assistance Department, Mr. Hamilton Jones' office.
Is she there?
Oh, yes, he is, Sir Gregory. It's for you, sir. I'm afraid it's Sir Gregory.
Dear me, the one line of attack we didn't think of. Hello, Sir Gregory. Nice to hear from you. How are you?
Look, what's General Assistance Department doing at the moment?
Well, we're keeping the ball rolling, you know.
Are you? Well, I want you to put all other work aside at once. There's an important job come right down from cabinet level.
Oh, dear me.
Tell me, what do you feel about Britain's part in the space race?
Well, we must leave no stone unturned, mustn't we? I mean, no Avenue 1, whatever it is, yes. What exactly is the space race again?
Come along, man. America and Russia have sent men up into outer space.
Oh.
Now, people are looking to us. This is where you come in.
Oh, good gracious. Surely. Sir Gregory, isn't it a job for a younger man? I mean, my number 2 here. He'll volunteer, I'm sure.
No. We're not proposing to shoot you off into space.
Oh.
Or anybody else, for that matter. There's no prospect of getting an Englishman up there for a very long time.
Well, in that case, Sir Gregory, I'd be proud to go.
The PM's under fire because Britain hasn't done enough in the space business.
I see.
Well, we can't spare the money to do any extra. But we can give publicity and much more of it to what we are doing.
Oh, very cunning, Sir Gregory.
It's not meant to be cunning, man. It's just common sense.
Oh, yes, very cunning common sense, I see. Quite right, Sir Gregory.
Now, this is your job.
Yes.
For the moment, you'll become the Space Information Bureau.
That's interesting.
You'll have to collect and coordinate reports from all our different research centers and send out a weekly bulletin to the press. You and Lamb can meet the Buffins in my office tomorrow. Let's say 10:30.
Yes, very good, Sir Gregory. And kindest regards to Lady... Oh, he's gone.
What was that one?
Work of extreme national importance, too. Something you can really get your teeth into. What a pity we had to be in when he rang up.
Startling experiments at Stoke Newington Laboratory have shown that in extremely cold temperatures in outer space, it will be extremely difficult to keep warm. I think that's a lot. How many weeks have we been sending out these bulletins, April?
It's 4 now, isn't it?
And how much of the stuff has actually found its way into the papers?
Well, there were those 2 lines in the Dumbartonshire Weekly Advertiser.
And nothing in the national papers at all.
That's not surprising, is it? I mean, it's all very well Sir Gregory saying get publicity. There's no facts to get publicity for. Just stringing together a lot of junk, calling it a Space Research Bulletin and sending it out dramatically on the teleprinter doesn't fool the papers.
You're quite right, of course. Look at the high spot in this week's bulletin. It can now be revealed that Britain made a major contribution to the successful American space rocket recently sent up from Cape Canaveral. 2 small nuts in the capsule's right fin were made in Birmingham.
Yes, well, if we had some real news, they'd print it quickly enough. Oh, Mr. Lamb.
Yes, Mildred, what is it?
Look, I'll have to finish sticking those snaps in your album this afternoon. I'm going off to lunch now.
You're not, Mildred. You know very well your lunch hour isn't until 1:30. Miss Adams and I have to go first.
But I've got to go up to the West End and buy a new dress for my party. Sort of a coming-out dress.
Certainly not. You're coming out of that one quite sufficiently. As a matter of fact, I've been meaning to speak to you about wearing more suitable clothes for the office and about punctuality. I expect you to get here at the proper time, go for lunch at the proper time, and leave at the proper time.
What did your last slave die of?
That will do, Mildred. Once and for all, you cannot go to lunch now. It'd mean leaving the office empty.
Well, what about Mr. H.J.? He hasn't come in at all yet.
That's quite enough. I'm bound to say, Mildred, your whole attitude to life is wrong. All you seem to care about is having a good time. If you go on like this, you'll probably find yourself redundant.
Oh, what a thing to say. How dare you? That does it. I'm going out now, and I shan't come back till I feel like it.
Yeah, and Mildred, come back. Mildred! Well, would you believe it? She's going to get the biggest rocket she's ever had when she gets back.
Yes, Mr. Lamb. Do you want to add any more to this bulletin?
Ah, but jolly good. The bulletin? No, it's all ready to go off to the teleprinters.
I suppose you'd better let H.J. see it first. He's rather lost interest since none of the first three got in the papers, but he still likes to tell his chums he's head of space research.
Well, pop it on his desk, will you? And then we'd better go and have lunch.
Ought we to leave the office empty?
If we don't go now, all the hot dishes will be off in the canteen. Besides, H.J. will be here at any minute.
Then you better leave him a note. Remind him teleprinters need the bulletin by 1:30.
Oh, good idea. Can I borrow your pencil? Now then, a space research bulletin to be sent off at 1:30.
And you ought to explain why Mildred's not here.
Oh, yes, and warn him she's due for a big rocket.
Yes.
If there's going to be a row, he'll want to make sure he's not here. I'll say, big rocket in the air. Mildred shot off early this morning. What time did she go?
About 1 o'clock, perhaps a bit before.
Yes, 1 or bit before. And I'll just add, Mildred must be brought down to earth. I'll leave it on his desk. Come along, April. Wednesday's shepherd's pie day in the canteen.
Morning, Miss Murphy. Morning, Miss Adams. How are you, bright and early this lovely morning? Hello, there's no one about. They shouldn't all be as late as this, should they? What's the time? Good gracious, 20 to 2. They've probably gone to lunch, of course, yes. Think I'll do the same. Nobody can say I haven't put in an appearance.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello, who are you?
From Teleprinters. It's gone 1:30, sir, and we haven't had a weekly space bulletin yet.
Bulletin? Oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry. Help yourself, will you? I think you'll find it's on my desk over there. That's where they usually put it. I must be off. My staff will be back if you want any questions.
Oh, isn't it marvellous? This desk looks like a jumble sale. Ah, Space Research Bulletin to be sent off at 1:30. Oh, this must be it.
Well, Jack, what do you think? We could keep this from the midday edition, push the rest to the middle pages, and run a new headline on the Paris story.
Well, you're the news editor. I'd say it wasn't very strong for the 4 o'clock paper. What are we expecting? Let's see the schedule. Official report on Britain's space program. Any hopes?
No. It's just a weekly handout. Takes 200 words to say we're not doing anything. It'll be coming through on the teleprinter now.
Oh, might as well have a look.
Yes. All right, let's see. There it goes. Report from Government Space Bureau. Big rocket in the air. Mildred shot off early this morning. Hey, well, what's this? Something's up. Big rocket in the air. Mildred shot off early this morning. 1 orbit before Mildred must be brought back to Earth. Ye gods. At last we're doing something in space.
There's our lead,
yeah, you bet. Mike, ring up these information people. We've put a rocket into space. Code name Mildred. No, better still. I'll ring them myself. Somebody find me the number. Quick.
Hello, no sign of H.J. yet?
Yes, there is. Look, his umbrella. He's been in and gone out to lunch.
Oh, good. Then he'll have sent the bulletin down to the teleprinters. What about Mildred, I wonder?
Looks as if she's been in, too. There's an envelope on your desk in her handwriting.
Let's see. Mr. R. Lamb, Esquire, Room 24, General Assistance Department, 308, Whitehall, London, SW1, England, by hand. Mr. Lamb, I regard what you said this morning was rude, not fair, and furthermore a diabolical liberty.
I shall not come back until you have apologized or else said you're sorry. If you are ready to do so, you can leave a message with my ma. I will be going round Mars at 4 o'clock. Yours, M. Murphy. All right, I'm nearest. Hello, Space Information Bureau.
Peterson, news editor, Evening Banner, here.
Oh, Mr. Peterson, how nice to hear from you.
Now, look, can you give us some information about this big rocket?
Well, of course, which big rocket?
Well, this morning's big rocket. What was the name we were given? Yes, Mildred.
Oh, the Mildred business. Good gracious, you press boys get onto everything, don't you?
Mildred was fired this morning, I understand.
Not exactly fired, sort of shot off, you know.
Right, shot off, but this was very sudden, wasn't it?
Not really. We've been building up to it for some time.
Look, where's Mildred now?
Where's Mildred? I'm not too sure. Wait a minute, though. We've just had a message. Hold on a moment. April, the Evening Banner are trying to dig up some dirt on that row with Mildred. She must have got onto them.
Amazing how anything that happens in a government office is news.
Yes, but still they told us to cooperate. Where's that note from Mildred?
Here you are.
Ah, thank you. Mr. Peterson, I'll read you the latest message on Mildred's whereabouts. The exact words are, "We'll be going round Mars at 4 o'clock.
We'll be going round... Holy smoke, did you say round Mars?
Yeah, round Mars, that's right, yeah.
Hold it. We've got to print this straight away. Hey, Wilson, set up a special edition. Mildred is going round Mars.
I can't think why they're so interested. Anything else you want to know, Mr. Peterson?
Oh, there certainly is. Is Mildred British?
Oh, yes, Mildred's British, all right.
Yes, absolutely all British.
How do you mean?
Well, I was wondering if any part of Mildred belonged to the United States.
Well, there was an American soldier once who... No, I'm quite sure there isn't.
Oh, splendid. Oh, and there's one other detail the public are sure to want. What's the reason for the name Mildred? Why did it have to be a girl's name?
Why did it... what? Well, I imagine her parents took the doctor's advice.
Parents? Well, wait a minute. You can't possibly mean... Is Mildred a girl?
Oh, I think... is what?
Is Mildred a girl?
Well, we hate to give firm opinions here at the Ministry, but I can say all available evidence points to the fact.
It's fantastic. Wilson, hold that special edition. So, Mildred is a girl, and she's enlisting?
What thing?
This rocket.
Yeah, of course. She's right in the middle of it, yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Peterson, I really must hang up. We're in the middle of an important meeting.
Wait a minute.
Amazing how some people waste time.
Excellent lunch, I thought, Crumpton.
Yes, very good. Club food's looking up.
New chef, you know. Foreign fellow, I'm afraid. So you've got to hand it to him, haven't you?
Well, back to the office now, I suppose.
Comes from Paris, I think. Wife and I are off to Paris shortly.
You taking a taxi?
Oh, no, my dear friend, I think we'll go by air.
I mean, are you taking a taxi back to your office?
I beg your pardon. Yes, of course.
You are taking a taxi?
No, I don't take taxis. I walk. I enjoy the walk. It's only a matter of 100 yards.
Oh, good. I go your way. I'll join you.
Good.
Interesting stuff you mentioned at lunch, H.J.
Mm-hmm.
So your department keeps tabs on space research?
That's right, yes. Under your hat, of course. But actually the PM's asked me to look after the whole business.
Has he? By Jove.
The idea is to have one key man coordinating all the different research centres, you know.
Lot of work and worry, isn't it?
Oh, good gracious, never stops. And not the sort of thing you can leave to juniors either. But I see it as a challenge.
Hey, sir, special edition Britain Space Woman Sensation.
Hello, what's all this?
Thank you, sir.
Good gracious.
What is it?
Look at this. Britain launches world's first spacewoman. UK rocket orbits Mars.
Oh, my goodness.
It's fantastic.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes.
Not as any surprise to you, of course, eh?
No.
Your line of country, isn't it?
Yes.
I must say you kept very quiet about it over lunch.
Yes, did I? Yes, I did, didn't I? Yes. Heavens, I wish I'd read that bulletin. Well, protocol, you see.
Oh, yes, of course. Remarkable. And you knew about it all the time.
Well, naturally. I mean, it's our project, isn't it?
What a dog horse you are.
Yeah.
How big's this rocket?
How big? Oh, well, very big, yes. Oh, very big indeed.
Fancy that.
Well, it has to be, you know. It's got a long way to go, hasn't it? Do you know how far it is to... where was it again?
Mars.
Oh, yes, Mars, yes. Do you know how far it is to the planet Mars?
No, I don't.
Neither do I. But it's a very long way.
fascinating to get the inside story like this. From someone who knows all the technical side.
Oh, yes, very technical business, of course.
What about the girlie?
The girlie?
The girlie in the rocket. How was she chosen?
Oh, there's a girlie in the... Oh, that girlie, yes,
That
of course,
girlie,
I beg your pardon. Well, exhaustive tests, you know,
Oh, really?
years of training.
What's propelling this rocket? Solid fuel, steady feed, parallel rocket arrangement, or supercharged variable jets with thermonuclear boosters?
Well, it's not quite so simple as that.
I must say, I take my hat off to you scientific chaps. But tell me, what kind of heat shield have you used in this particular
sorry, Crumpton, some of these details are a bit hush-hush.
Yes.
You'll excuse me, won't you? Besides, this is my door. I have to dash in, get a bit lost if I'm not there.
Of course, of course.
Good to see you, Crumpton. Goodbye.
Thank goodness you're back, Ron. The office has been going mad.
Oh, I'm not surprised, really, too. You might have told me about this space rocket. Under-Secretary of the Admiralty asked me about it on the way back from the club, and of course I knew nothing. You know I don't read that wretched bulletin. I had to bluff pretty hard, I can tell you.
What do you mean, you had to bluff? You were the one who sent off the news.
What?
I didn't even know there was a space rocket till all the phones rang at once. Where was it launched from? When would it be back? I'm the one who had to do the bluff. In the end, we had to leave the receivers off. We've been waiting for you to come and tell us what it's all about.
Me, my dear chap, all I know is what's in the newspaper.
Oh, it's in the papers. Good. Oh, it must be all right then.
Yes, look, we can get most of the facts from the front page. Look at the front page. A dramatic government bulletin at 1:30 announced that Britain has put a woman into space, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on.
They don't seem to give many details.
No, that's the trouble with these wretched government people. They never tell you. Just a minute, there's something wrong here.
Yes, there is, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
We're not supposed to get these facts from the papers. They're supposed to get them from us.
But how can they if we haven't got any?
That's the point. No, too, you're going round in circles. This 1:30 bulletin's the thing we issue. They did get their facts from us.
Oh, then that's all right then. We're reliable enough.
Now then. Take a grip on yourself, too. Now you're agreeing the rocket news was in our bulletin.
Only if you edited. The bulletin I wrote was the usual load of old rubbish.
That's right, I read it.
Thank you, April.
My dear fellow, how could I have added it? I didn't even see it.
But I put it on your desk as usual.
What?
In fact, look, it's there now. It's right there where I... If the space bulletin's still on your desk, what got sent round to the teleprinters?
Better ring and find out.
Oh, dear. Hello, get me teleprinters, will you? I'm beginning to get the screaming nudges again.
Teleprinter speaking?
Yeah, this is the Space Information Bureau. What did our 1:30 bulletin say?
Oh, hang on, I've got it here. Big rocket in the air. Mildred shot off early this morning. One orbit before Mildred must be brought back to Earth.
Oh.
Did you get that?
Right between the eyes. Can you tell us how you got that bulletin?
I got it off the desk like the man told me.
Thank you.
Two, what is all this? Can you understand it?
I'm afraid I'm getting a ghastly glimmer. Look, one, when you weren't in by lunchtime, I left you a note. And so that, as I see it, is how we come to be the first people to put a clanger into orbit.
Dear, my dear fellow. So there's nothing up there at all. Your face will be red in the morning, too.
More likely, definitely right. While you were out, I confirmed the news to 15 papers and acknowledged congratulations from the Turkish embassy.
What a good thing you're on the established staff. You'll probably get away with a transfer to records in the Outer Hebrides.
If only you'd got back from lunch sooner.
My dear fellow, I was having a very important chat with the Under-Secretary of the Admiralty, telling him about this rocket, you see, and... Oh, my goodness. Miss Adams, fetch that little bottle from the first aid cabinet, will you please?
Smelling salts?
Don't be silly, the brandy.
I'm glad you realize the position.
I realize that through your staggering incompetence, I've been boasting to a senior colleague about a rocket that doesn't exist. Do you realize I shan't be able to show my face in the club again?
Oh, bother your club. Do you realize your department's responsible for an entirely false story being shouted by every paper from Land's End to John O'Groats?
Not to mention every radio and TV from New York to Vladivostok.
In fact, the whole situation couldn't be more Vladivostok. When they find out the truth, Britain will be humiliated, the government will be exasperated, and we'll be obliterated.
I think I'll just go and lie down for a minute.
I put the receiver back on the phone.
Oh, this is absolute.
Hello? Space Information Bureau?
Ah, Hamilton Jones, sir.
It's for you, sir.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Hello. Hamilton Jones here.
Ah, Crumpton here.
Oh, Crumpton.
At the Admiralty.
At the Admiralty, yes.
About this rocket.
The rocket, yes. Perhaps I'd better explain.
No need for that. When I got back and tried to surprise the First Lord of the Admiralty, I found he knew all about it.
Yes, well, of course we all... What? What did you say?
The First Lord. Said naturally he'd been on it from the very first thing.
He has?
The press have been on, of course. Wanted to know what arrangements were made for picking up this astronaut when she gets back.
Oh, my goodness.
The First Lord told them that he's already diverted the whole home fleet for the job.
Good Lord.
Eh?
I mean, good for him, good for the Lord. Good for the First Lord. What?
Right, yes.
Yes.
Yes, but just between you and me, he was flattered in a bit.
Oh.
Our information on the return arrangements, they're not quite to hand.
I see.
We've got the general picture, of course, but could you remind us exactly where the capsule's coming down?
The capsule coming down?
Yes, where?
Where? Oh, yes, the North Sea.
Can you be a little more exact?
Yes. The South.
South?
Yes, that's to say the South North Sea. Somewhere off East Anglia, we think. Do you know that coast at all? Very bracing.
Yes. Well, thank you, Hamilton Jones. We'll get the home fleet there immediately.
I don't wish to sound disrespectful, one, but have you gone stark staring bonkers?
Oh, on the contrary, I've suddenly seen the light.
But you let him believe the rocket is up. You even told him where it was coming down.
Look, if we admit this mistake, we're in trouble, right?
Right.
So why admit it?
Well, it's against all decency and ethics to conceal a mistake. Unless you're quite sure you can get away with it.
Exactly. And on the phone, I realized we just might get away with it.
But how can we get away with it? There are hundreds of people who'd know if a rocket had been fired, and as soon as they know, they'll know they don't know.
But will they dare admit it? You didn't, I didn't, the First Lord of the Admiralty didn't. We're all afraid it was in some dispatch we hadn't read and ought to have read, so we pretended we did know.
Oh, dear, I don't like the sound of this.
Well, remember, we got nothing to lose. April, bring me all the files on Russian and American space flights, will you? And where's that Mildred girl?
She'll be at her mother's by this time.
Then, for heaven's sake, go and find her before the press get hold of her.
All right, sir.
2, take those receivers off again. Tell the doorman not to let anyone up to this office. Just give me time to think.
Don't bother answering the door, Mike. The big fight coming up on telly. Oh, whatever's happening?
We're interrupting television's visit to All In Wrestling at the Athenaeum for our hourly bulletin on Britain's space rocket. Agency messages now suggest that the world's first woman in space is not a trained astronaut, but a typical London typist.
Oh, did you hear that, Ma? Oh, I'm glad it's not me.
However, it's now known that the girl, who should at this moment be orbiting the planet Mars, is a civil service secretary who volunteered for the job. She's a 19-year-old Londoner, and her name is Mildred Murfin.
Oh! Did you ever? It is me.
Thank you, Mrs. Murfin. Mildred, come along with me.
Oh, it's you, April. Yeah, did you hear that? They think I've been shot into space.
You'll be shot somewhere else if you don't come back to the office at once.
Honestly, one, how long do you think we can keep this up?
As long as you've got the good sense to lie low and let them all get on with it. There have been 3 special editions of the papers already, and nobody's smelt a rat yet.
But aren't they going to want some details soon?
Details, my dear boy, what they want with details are quite happy making up their own. Look at this latest paper.
Thanks, I'd rather not.
Nonsense. Look at this. Full of good stuff. Listen to this. Tense, pale, but doggedly courageous, Mildred Murfin flies on.
Yes. It is remarkable, isn't it? They filled the whole front page without knowing anything at all. Shares leap on the stock exchange.
Tonight's TV program's cancelled. Dimbleby stands by.
Look, it's spread to the middle as well. I was Mildred's first date by Albert Boggis. It's amazing. You know, I'm beginning to believe all this myself.
Look here. Look in the stop press column. This is our best hope yet.
What is it?
Questioned about the rocket at his home this afternoon, the Minister of Science seemed to be taken by surprise. But he said we're all very pleased. I can say nothing more at the moment. If we're up the creek, we've got a cabinet minister in the same boat. The government can't afford to let the truth out now.
Look, man, all these people are British. They want to believe in the rocket. What about the American and Russian tracking stations? They see there's nothing there. They've got the most up-to-date equipment.
Yes, but they're still manned by old-fashioned human beings. Keep your fingers crossed, too.
I don't get it, Dexter. The British rocket should be on this bearing. But look, there's not a thing on the screen. Better tell the news agencies.
Hey, Professor, news flash from Moscow. They say they're picking up the British rocket loud and clear on their new high-powered People's Telescope.
Oh, they are they? Well, let's take another look at this screen. Uh-huh. Hey, I can see something. Look there, see?
Yeah, you're right, Professor. It's coming up real clear.
And here's our latest bulletin. Russia's scientists have sighted Britain's rocket in orbit. Giving this news, Moscow radio paid tribute to the astronaut Mildred Murfin, descended, they said, from Russian grandparents. American tracking stations have also seen the rocket, and Jodrell Bank, at first unable to detect it, now reports the clearest picture of all. The Prime Minister told a crowded House he was justly proud of Britain's space achievement. It showed, he said, what the ship of state could do once it rolled up its sleeves. Meanwhile, Britain's Space Information Bureau remains strangely silent. They're thought to be delaying further statement until after the astronauts' return, which they're awaiting with quiet confidence. Stand by for further bulletins.
No, honestly.
Now then, put yourself together for heaven's sake.
Getting mismatches again.
Pull yourself together.
It's no use, Mum. Getting away with it so far has only made it worse. Now the whole world's waiting to see the rocket come back.
And so they shall, my dear fellow, so they shall.
But how can they? We'll have to say it burnt up in space. Mildred can go to South America under a different name, and we'll send her postal orders.
Do you mind, Mr. Lamb, South America?
That'll do, Mildred, that'll do. Now, according to my plan, you go no further than Southend. Listen, everyone. I've been studying the way these other astronauts got back, and I think I've got the answer. 2. Ring Customs and Excise and borrow one of their launches, will you? April, pop into Harridge's and buy a yellow rubber dinghy. Mildred, I'm relying on you to show all the courage and intelligence of which I know you're capable.
Do what?
I want you to do as you're told. Now, listen carefully.
Hello, America. Hello, the world. This is Ed Burrows reporting to you from London, England. Reporting the 3 words you've been waiting to hear. Mildred is back. Mildred Murfin, the world's first woman astronaut, has returned from orbiting the planet Mars. Let me give you the details so far as they are known. Through a slight miscalculation, Mildred came down not in the North Sea, where so many sailors were waiting to pick her up, but in the deserted Thames estuary. Here she was rescued by the foresight of Space Information Bureau's Roland Hamilton Jones, who was patrolling this very area in a launch. Only a few lucky spectators on historic Southend Pier saw Mildred hauled from her rubber dinghy. Tragically, the capsule itself, with old data and records of this historic flight, had already sunk to the bottom of the sea. Reports say Mildred is in good shape, but her immediate boss, Mr. Richard Lamb, was taken to hospital suffering from nervous exhaustion. And so a new page is written in the history of man's endeavor.
How are you feeling now, too?
Well, the week's rest has done me good, but I still dread getting found out. And after all that international hoo-ha about Britain's space triumph, not to mention the rewards we've had from the grateful government, that new hat stand in your office, my 5 days sick leave without a certificate. Mind you, I thought they were a bit over-generous with Mildred.
You mean that free book of luncheon vouchers? Anyway, you needn't worry, too. The whole thing's past history now. We'll never get a tougher assignment.
I wouldn't be too sure, one. This wire's just come from the Prime Minister.
Oh, thank you. Let me see. Delighted with your success. Getting a rocket to Mars suggests you can cope with really difficult problems. I therefore appoint you Road Congestion Council. Report Mr. Marples at once. Oh, no, 2. This is too much.
Well, it looks as if...
Yes, well...
programme, the men from the Ministry were Wilfrid Hyde White and Richard Murdoch. Other essential personnel were Diana Olsson, Norma Ronald, Roy Dotrice, David Graham and John Graham. The Men from the Ministry is written and produced by Edward Taylor.